Welcome to Prerona Television Canada. On behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, we are very happy that we are continuing our education, immigration, and recruitment speaker series. And today we are very delighted to have 22nd episode. And today we'll be discussing is uh, admission to Canadian University, the application process guidelines. And we're very happy that we are having a very distinguished person actually. He's none other than Uzma Khan, and let me introduce her. She is actually she's a graduate education specialist, Carleton University, and she's also a president of CPACT NCR and from Ottawa, Ontario, and Canada. I would like to invite Uzma Khan, and if you can introduce yourself and let me know what is CPACT and how you are connected with other affiliations. I'll be greatly glad. More importantly here, her actually introduction is more related to Carleton University because she is a graduate education specialist and she has a lot of experience, mostly uh, um, helping students so they can, for their postgraduate actually admission. So it is very important. Today's sessions we are focusing on postgraduate applications, and she will be discussing about how can you make a good applications. So which is very important. So I'm thankful to her for her time and for her time. And then I now invite her uh, to share. First, introduce, and then we can continue. Thank you very much, Uzma Khan. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward, for inviting me. You and your team are doing a wonderful job. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Uzma Khan. I work in Carleton University in a graduate administration. So, I handle a lot of applicants that are applying for the master's, PhD, and postdoctoral positions. And as far as my background is concerned, past 10 years I'm working in the universities in different continents. I have worked in Asia, I have worked in Middle East, I have worked in North America. I have worked some of the names that I have worked with the Caesar Colleges of Switzerland. I have worked with the uh, Petroleum Institute in Abu Dhabi. Beside that, I have worked with the Thames Valley University in London, UK. There I have worked with them and I have affiliations with them. And my main job was is recruiting a student from different countries for the universities and doing their admissions and advising them on admission process. So today, we are going to divide our, my talk is going to be divided into, first we talk about the general application, whether you are an undergraduate or you're a graduate student. There are certain things that are common, right? I think before we move forward, I just want to ask Edward.
Yes.
Yeah, I have introduced myself, so if you would like me to continue, or
Right. Yes. So now I actually thank you very much. I think we'll be yes. Thank you very much. You can continue with your presentations, and because we'll be mostly focusing on right what you are actually delivering. Because instead of asking questions, if we have any questions, and even from live sessions of somebody sending, I will let you know. But you have full liberty of having this presentation because we like to know more about those process, so you know better. So you can continue with your session, and then we'll let you know if we have any questions or any other concern. Yes.
right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first and the foremost, the most important thing, when you are applying or you are doing anything in your life, the first thing that it should be research, research. Like if you are planning to apply to any university, research about the university, research about the program, research about the city that university is located in, right? What is the weather like? How the people there, and try to connect with the people over there and see and read a lot. And other thing on the research, if you want to do and about the program or the university, you have to talk to university. Now all the universities in Canada, we offer like different kinds of communication to our international student, and even to our domestic students. You can attend universities, organize a virtual chat. Like it's some university, even they do a 24 hours chat. You can go online and you can chat with the admission specialist and ask about the program, or any question you have, you can directly ask. Even if they are offline, they are not available, they will come back to you, they will get back to you, and they'll give your answer. And then you can attend the webinars, the webinars, symposium, the workshops. Sometimes university organize education fair, education exhibition. And now since everything is happening online, if you can go to attend anything in person, you can attend online as well. And the other thing is that always you can drop an email to the university asking about the program requirement, and anything special they need, what they look into the application. You can ask that, and then explore the university website. That's very, very important. The problem, you cannot ask right questions if you do not explore or research the website of the program or the university, right? So you want to ask the right questions, so you have to research. Any program you would like to apply, go to the program website. There's an admission website, and usually it is linked to the program website. You can even go and see the courses that are there, the course description. As per the university laws, all the Canadian university, they have to list their courses, what they are teaching in a program, with the course description. Even sometimes you will see the name of the professor, and you can find their email address. Everything is there on the website. So research is your main tool. So if you do your research good, if you do your homework good on this, you can make a successful, this is the first step to make a successful application. And sometime, in the universities, you will see there's a student section. You can contact the student also. Some student profile are there, the student councils are there. You can directly contact and connect with the student in the program who is already studying that program. And then you can also visit the social media pages of those universities on the program, and every program has their own pages as well. So you can explore, you can chat, you can talk to the people over there, you can ask your question. Now the world is like it has become so small, right? And information, you can get as much as information you want. You don't have to visit the university in person. If you can do it by all means. Some university, they organize the open houses and all that, but if you cannot do that, everything is available online. So please go and check that. That's your first thing. Research about the program, about the university, about the city, about the student. Try to talk to the student. Try to have an online chat, attend webinars, seminars, and open houses, the virtual open houses. Now many universities are doing the virtual open houses and virtual exhibitions. So it's much easier to attend and ask, from any corner of the world, right? And the second thing, always do one thing is have a backup plan. Not only just think about one program or one university and just put all your buy on that. No, you have to have a backup plan always. Sometimes university, every time they're in the admissions, like things are changing. Like before, now because of the pandemic and the domestic applications are so high, the number of domestic applications are so high that it's very hard to take for us to take international student. And maybe there are some universities there, and do research also, there are some universities they are very, very friendly to the international student. Friendly in a sense like they recruit, they actively look for the international student. Mostly you will see that the engineering university, they always, because engineering education is one of the most expensive education, or medicine, they are looking for the international student. And always have like 2-3 options, or maybe if you can have more, like here in Canada, the student apply to 11 universities. Even the undergraduate I'm talking about, they apply to 11, 12, or 16 universities, and they see how many universities they get acceptance. And then if you have acceptance from other universities, you can talk to if you have an offer and they are offering you a scholarship, you can talk to other university and say, oh, see, look, I have this offer from other university, what you can offer me, right? So we are looking for the brightest students. So university try to to change the offer to offer more to attract the student. So always have a backup plan and apply more than one university and program also. Like, I'll just give you an example. Like, there are some program or they are also similar. For example, if you want to study psychology, in the psychology we have cognitive science, we have a neuroscience, and all these fields. So just don't fix on, like, you can just only apply to the psychology. But if you're doing the cognitive science, it has the element of psychology, it has a neuroscience, it has artificial intelligence. So I think the same rule is valid for other programs as well. So it is very important that you read about the programs and explore your options, apply for more than one university, more than one program, and then that will be your good bet. Then another important thing that we look in the applications is the letter of recommendations. These must be, when we're talking about the letter of recommendation, these must be your educational references we are talking about. We are not talking about here a family reference or someone you work for. We want to see how academically qualified you are, how sound you are academically. So before we make an offer, we always look for sometimes the student, they don't have the marks that we are looking for, but if they have a very strong recommendation letter, that would be considered, right? If maybe as far as the number is concerned in Canada, it's like that, you might have some issues to perform academically very good, get the good marks or something like that. But if your professor is saying, professors are recommending you and giving you have a talent, you can do a good job and all that, that is also very important. So always have a good connection with your professor, inform them in advance that you are applying to so and so university and this program, and they will receive an email from that university, right? Because normally, usually in the reference letter, maybe there's a first question is that, did this student inform you that we are going to contact you? So if your professor say yes or no, like, it depends. And it's always a good to inform your professor, because one professor might be receiving, like, he has many students, maybe many students might be, putting his name as a referee. So, and he has to answer all that. So it is important, and it's create a good impression also to your professor that you are doing things professionally, you are informing him well in advance what's the program and all that, and what the university you are applying to, right? It is very important. Then we ask for a personal statement. Personal statement mainly consists of, like, why you want to join this program, what you want to do in this program, right? Your personal statement is different than your research statement. Personal statement is just you are telling about yourself and your interest in the program. And trust me, like, your transcript is important, but this piece of information is equally important. Because sometimes, when I get the feedback from the admission committee and the professor, they send me, they say, like, personal statement is very weak, and application is rejected on that basis. Or, before we talk about the recommendation letter, or the recommendation letter were not that strong. Because student was the brilliant student, but the recommendation letters are not very strong. So it is, all these small things are important when you're creating an application, university application. Then we have prepare for the test. Like, every university, every program, they require some test. If you want to apply for an MBA, I think they require GMAT. Some program, the engineering program, they require GRE. Some other program, they write the English language score, like TOEFL, IELTS, right? Or TOEFL, IBT, International TOEFL, and all these things. So you have to see what are the scores, and you have to make sure you have this required score before you apply. So search well in advance, right? Because sometimes to book these tests takes some time. You won't get the date immediately. Once you get the date, even to get the results, it also takes some time and all that. So, and you have to upload these documents in your application. So it is very important that you have these things ready with you. You should not, best advice is not to submit an application that is not incomplete. It does not create a good impression. Always in every department, in every university that I have worked for, as well as my personal, complete applications, considered first. Even you have the highest GPA, we are not allowed. I'm telling you the backend, so we are not allowed to process the application that is not complete. If that has a missing reference letter, if that has a missing TOEFL or IELTS score, if we need that, it is very, a personal statement is missing, the research statement is missing. So it is very, very important that you have all these documents in your application once you start your application. And then there are some programs, and in Canada, they offer the scholarships also. They offer some money. Okay, despite being an international student, there are some organizations that offer the scholarship for the international student. So applying for the scholarship, the deadline is a little bit earlier than the usual deadline for the admission. So research about the scholarships. So what are the scholarships in general available for international students, right? And then search for the university specific. Write to the university, ask them, tell them, your GPA is this, and you are looking for the scholarship and all this one. Ask this information. Then don't be shy when you want to, you can ask thousands of questions. There's no more shame in asking questions, right? And search for the scholarship and apply, and see the deadlines. And then be organized. Last but not the least, be organized and meet the deadlines. Every university, they might have a different deadline. Programs have different deadlines. Some programs that are high in demand, they have a deadlines earlier than the programs that are not much in demand, or they don't receive that many applications, right? So it is very important to check on the website. I cannot give the information because it varies from universities to university. So you have to do your own research on that. See, put it in your calendar. Okay, this university deadline is this. And please do not wait till the last minute to apply. What happens if the system, there is some problem with the system? You cannot upload your documents, or you cannot open the files or anything that you want to do there. So always give yourself a time, or a week before the deadline, that you upload, and you make sure any problem is there. You can always write an email to the university if you have an issue uploading the documents or accessing any site or the link or anything. So please do ask. So these are the very important, these are the general guidelines that I told you about, the whether you are an undergraduate student or you're a graduate student, right? And I will ask Edward if he would like to say something. Then we will move on to the graduate, specification of the graduate admissions.
Yes, so thank you very much for sharing all those tips and those suggestions. It is very important to understand. One of the things that's came into my mind is taking before even you do anything, just have a good to do a homework kind of preparation. So that means you have a mindset ready for doing anything. So as you have said, in Canada, I would say it's a small country in compared to USA. So in terms of availability of university, we may not have like a lot of options available. But whatever is available, like there are good universities there. So I guess you can, right, choose, and you can choose which the university. And I been here for quite some time. I've seen that this Canadian university maintain a very good standard, very high standard. So so there are good universities here. So I would I would see that maybe we should be we should prepare ourselves and do those homework and all the suggestions that is given. So do some research before even you do um, you know before you even do apply. So that will be right helpful for us. So anyway, thank you very much. There is one um, question actually came in from the audience. Okay, actually we'll be answering this one is later. One of the questions is related to if I have intention to stay in Canada after education, should I look for scholarship or study at own cost? So we'll discuss this one at later part of this session about what happens after you are a student. Thank you, Murad Mufti, for asking these questions. But we are not answering this question right now. We'll be discussing this one at the end of the session. Where please be in this, and thank you very much. I would like to now ask Ms. Uzma Khan again and continue your session and actually a little more depth about how you go forward actually uh, forward for with the graduate admission. So yeah.
Okay. As far as the graduate education is concerned, there's a good news. Like a lot of universities, they are looking for the internationally qualified graduate students. And in graduate student, like they have like scholarships are more than the undergraduate student for international students. When it compares to the international student, if they are applying for the undergraduate degree or graduate degree, so graduate programs offer more scholarship to international student as compared to the undergraduate, right? So it is also important then again search again, and the first step if you are thinking about going to a graduate school, see, but after doing the bachelor's you have a little bit more clarity in your mind what you would like to do further in your career or in your education career. You need to work first. What you have to do, you have to pick up the program, the program that you would like to apply, and then go to the website of that program, right? Most of the graduate school, how they work is that we prefer to take the student where a student has a supervisor who is ready to supervise that student. So what happened in our graduate application system, we ask a student, when we recommend, we highly recommend all the international student or even to the domestic student, please go to our website, look at the professor's profile, all universities, all programs of the universities, all Canadian universities, all profiles of all professors are listed over there. So you have to take a little bit of pain, you have to do a research, you have to go uh, to the professor profile and see that their research interest, read about the research that they have done. So when you are drafting your personal research statement, it will help you to write a good research statement, right? And you can give a reference to the professor that I read your research studies and all that, and I want to continue on the same pattern. So if your chances of acceptance are very high, if you have a required GPA, and then there's a professor who is ready to work with you. So in the graduate school, please, go and okay. So what happened is that in the graduate school, so you contact that professor and talk about your research interests and tell him like how your research interests and his research interests are connected, right? You do that, and usually you can contact more than one professor. Feel free to write to professor, and please write a different email or different change something in your email. Don't shoot the same email to the all the professor. The biggest complaint that I received from the professors and all that the student did not or applicant did not put an effort. They write the same email because we work, professor, they are working in the same department. If you're replying to the one department, they will talk, oh, this student contacted or that student contacted. So it is important, and it also shows that how interested you are in, right, to work with that professor. So be specific, draft a different email, okay? Even if you have to change a line or two, please do so. And the more interest you will show, the higher the chances that professor would like to work with you. And try to contact the professor that are doing the research in your area. Don't talk to the student, put the name of the professor who's a totally different research area, and your research area is different, right? And then also talk to your university professors. Sometimes what happen is that sometimes the university professor also can write to the professor here in Canadian university and talk to them on your behalf, that my student, that professor can be our adjunct professor in your home country, right? And he can work without the domestic professor over here. So this way also the program works like that. This is very important. And then again, so this is a key element. We won't, it's very highly unlikely, because see, in the university, in the graduate level, we cannot force and tell the professor that please take this student. Professor has to show interest in his student, and for professor to show interest, you have to show interest in his research, and show him and tell him, like, how your research is connected to his research. So this is very, very, like, I think I'm taking more time, but this is a very, very key element in the graduate application, right? Sometimes even we take a student who do not have the required GPA that we are looking for, but they have a very high recommendation. The supervisor is very eager to work with that student. So there are chances. This is not the rule, but there are chances are very high. So it is very important. And make sure in the university setting, when you're applying for another thing that differentiate, if you are applying for the master's or PhD, your professor should be, should at least be doctors, should be PhD professors and all that. It is very important. If you don't have, you have to justify why you're doing that. But we, like, we always ask, even if you are shortlisted for the admission, we ask for the academic reference. And make sure if you are applying for the PhD or the master's program, your professor are PhDs. This is highly, highly recommended. Right? This is very important thing that you have to take care in your graduate application. Another thing is that, again, the same thing, like, be organized, prepare a complete application, upload all the documents and all that. If you have any questions or any comments, please write an email directly to the department and follow up. And the professor also, if you're trying to contact the professor, if they don't reply, see, professor are very, very busy people, and they receive thousands of email and all that, and they are doing the research as well, right? So it is very important that you can follow up with them. You can send a reminder or follow up with the in a very kind and a gentle way with them. Don't be aggressive if they don't reply to your email, and don't take it personally, because I know we receive a lot of email, and it's sometimes it takes us time, and sometimes the emails are lost, right? So it is important, keep in contact with the professor. And other important advice for the graduate, those who are applying for the masters and PhD, try to present in your master's degree, or if you have done any research paper, and send that to the professor when you're contacting them, or any publication you have. It will be a plus point. Professor would be like very happy to connect with you if you have these things. uh, and I think Edward had a question for me. You were asking.
We are having a couple of other questions regarding before even going to that. The other question came after the education, so it's a little bit more immigrations related. But we have a few other queries about accommodations, housing, and living when you are applying for student. Um, right. So what are the like how a student can, like those who are applying from abroad, what are the consideration? How they assure or how they apply for universities and see about the accommodations, because I think for female student one of the major concern is, or from the parents is, are they having a safe accommodations, or like these are one of the major concern actually came. So do you
Right.
have any observation or any
Yeah.
suggestions?
So usually for international student, they stay, they have to stay in a university accommodation for a year. This is like, I don't know, it might be different for other university. In general speaking, like, universities, because uh, they include 1 year accommodation for the international student, because they don't want that the student come and they stray and they don't have a place to stay. And I think all the fees of the semester they have to pay in advance. And accommodation generally, talking about, are safe, are very safe, like, especially Canada. I'm talking about, it's very, accommodation are very safe. There can be issue, but then again, it depend on the how you handle things as well. Being a, whether you, it's not about the gender or male or female. It's about, like, see, when you go abroad, your parents are giving you a trust. They are trusting you to, so that you make good choices, right? So it's totally up to you. You will have everything available. It's totally up to you what kind of choices you make. So your parents are investing. I know, the culture I come from, it's the parent who pays, right, for the education. So your parents doing so much hard work. They are like, it's not easy to study abroad and to afford that when they are doing. So this is, I think, this much they deserve from you to make a good choice for yourself. And then, in the future, you will have a lot of opportunity to do whatever you want. Just, when you're coming here, focus on your studies and make your studies your first priority. Then you will have enough time, once you graduate, once you're working, you will have enough time to do, other things that you would like to do. But of course, like, always, as a mother, as a woman, is my advice, whether you are a male or female does not make any difference. You have, it's totally up to you what choices you make. Yeah, I hope that answers
All
your
right.
question.
Yes, thank you. Now let me answer the other one, right? The question from Murad Mifti is, if I have intentions to stay Canada after education, should I look for scholarship or study at own cost? So my question is, when you have already completed your school, you should be able to find work. Why you are again like want to stay in Canada at your own cost? I'm not sure about that, because once you are having, I think, 2 years program, right? 2 years, any 2 years program, you will be eligible for postgraduate work permit. So once you finish
Right.
your program for 2 years, definitely you will find a job, or you will find a related job, whatever, and then you can carry on, right? Because if you have money, you can do other stuff, right? Other courses. That's no at your own cost. That's not a problem. But why you doing course after course after course, right? What is the necessity, unless you have to, like, you have to settle, right? So I'm not sure about what you are thinking, but in here, right, to stay here, like, right, you don't need to, right, study. You just, after 2 years of program, you can, find job and get it employed, and that's the main purpose. And then right, according to your requirements, you can go forward, and if there any other opportunity comes, definitely you can carry go forward, I guess. So, but do you have any concern, right? That's my opinion, Uzma,
Yeah,
about
I
education.
completely agree with, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. And only thing I want to add, like, if you're a PhD student, if you're coming after 3 years, but you have to check this information, but this is what I heard. Once, if you're coming here for the PhD, after 3 years, you can apply for permanent residency in Canada.
Okay.
But
Okay.
obviously, please check with your immigration consultant. I'm not an authority on that, so I advise you always check, with this. But this is what I know. Like, a couple of our students, those who came for the international PhD student, they applied for this and they got the permanent residence in Canada.
uh, I have a very specific questions, because now I'll be going to other provinces, just to
Right,
give
right.
some of the audience, because a lot of them are actually watching from different parts of the world.
Right.
I believe you are based in Ontario province, and like,
Yes.
just to let other know, Ontario is one of the provinces, eastern provinces in Canada. So, and then you are living a capital city of Canada, which is Ottawa. So Ottawa is in Ontario, one of the cities of Ontario. So from when as you are living in Ottawa, can you name some of the universities that there in Ottawa? Like, what are the options are there if somebody wants to come to Ottawa? And then I would like you to mention some of the university in Toronto, or like in Ontario. Like, is there any other good universities options? Then maybe we can share others provinces later. But maybe
Right.
because you are already there, you might have better knowledge and understanding. Yes.
Okay. Right. Uh, Personally, I worked in Carleton University, so I will always recommend Carleton University. It's the what and we have other universities. We have a Carleton University, we have University of Ottawa, we have a St. Paul University in Ottawa. So these are the three universities. I think St. Paul and the Ottawa are more focused on, on the French side. More education is in French, and so kind of a bilingual. But Carleton, mostly everything happens in English. So you will be very comfortable in Carleton if you don't speak a word of French, something like that. So it's very important. In Carleton, the important thing, the fact about the Carleton is that it's the student and the professor and the staff, they are very well connected. You will never feel lost in Carleton. But then again, deciding about the university, I'll tell you, every university is famous for something. right? For every university, for example, I will tell you there is most famous Canadian university. If you are looking for an engineering degree, it would be University of Waterloo, right? Their engineering program is is the strongest. But if you would like to do an MBA, I wouldn't recommend Waterloo to you. I would say you go to the York University, Schulich Business School. They have, right? So different universities, they have a different business school, and very good in Ontario. We have very, very excellent, business schools if you want to do a business education. Then about if you are talking about like Carleton University, they have very good program. The engineering program is very strong. The computer science program is very strong. The psychology, cognitive science programs are very strong. And if you are looking for the health sciences, it's for the University of Ottawa. Their programs are very, strong. So every university you have to do your own research. And in the top, like I think in the world, if you talk about the ranking, the highest ranking is for the University of Ottawa. Oh, sorry, University of Toronto. They have a large number of programs, and the ranking is very good. Overall ranking for many programs is very good. And then we have a University of Waterloo, the University of Western Ontario is also very good. And it depends on the program you would like to do. Honestly, like the name of the university will okay get you an interview, but what you have learned during your studies and all that, that all matters in the end. It is important to have a name of a very good university, very highly ranked university on your CV and all that. But at the end of the day, university name, okay, you will be called for an interview, but if you don't perform well in the interview, if you don't have a required knowledge or what they are looking for, you will not be hired because of the name of the university, right? So it is very important, right? I think Edward can put light on the universities in other provinces.
Right. I do live in Alberta, so I can share some important. Like I don't have much experience in other provinces. Like I live in Western province. Like Western Canada has four provinces, which is Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and British Columbia. So in Alberta, we have University of Alberta, and then in Edmonton. So in Calgary, we have University of Calgary, and in British Columbia, University of British Columbia (UBC), and also Simon Fraser University, like private, and then and in Saskatchewan, we have university, and in University of Manitoba. So in Alberta, what I know is one of those good ranking university, and in terms of IT, mesh like artificial intelligence, and in research-based universities, one of the global, right, they're doing very well. So I would the Alberta University of Alberta is the medical school for sure. UCAL, University of Alberta, they're doing very well. So in research and development, R&D, this university, global leader, like that after when Trump administration has decided to stop those Indian, like those all visas of technology things, a lot of people shifted here in Alberta, IT professionals, and they have own startup and they've been employed. So Alberta is doing very well in information technology, and because Alberta is also another thing is oil and gas industry. I think the economy is actually largely, Canadian economy is largely run by this Alberta, this oil and gas. So there are a lot of other researchers actually are going on in this particular field. So you have to decide, and as Uzma has already mentioned, I think you have to decide if you're from engineering background. I think you have to choose which is good for you, right? Engineering, or if you're in medical. Mostly, I see in here in Alberta, like 90% a lot of people coming from Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh. They are all engineers, doctors, like all professionals. In Toronto, you have variety, anyone can come. But here, I think like most our professional community member are highly skilled professionals. They are like mostly engineers, different type of engineers. As I said, there's engineer, you have a petroleum engineers from like I've seen
Mhm.
Middle East, a lot of people coming from Middle East because Middle East have a lot of petroleum engineers. So and they are doing their degree, second degree here in the University of Alberta, and they're working in the field. Not only in capital city, there are many other city like Fort McMurray, right? One of those city in north. So I think there are many, even that, yeah, we are also leader of like, I think those Northeast territories also in Edmonton, that Alberta, like a lot of people actually, they, we are actually half for them, right? So their Northeast territories also, there are a lot of opportunities are there. So they are actually choosing these provinces. So actually, before even think about the what is your goal, right? Career goal. So and then like think I've seen a lot of people coming from different parts of the from other provinces too here, because the economy is good. Economy, the opportunities are there. So it is up to you what you like to do. So choosing university is not only university but also your career path, and where you get research, good research, or right, like there are companies like in Calgary, I think mostly corporate, like for example the US, those US and Canada, like there's a lot of multinationals or maybe joint venture companies. Their headquarters are based in Calgary. These are corporate, offices are there. There's a lot of international businesses that their headquarters based in Calgary. So it's just a see if you want to do office jobs or some of the jobs, Calgary is like, like they have a lot of opportunities are there. And then also some of the looking for civic life, which cities are better in infrastructure, road, driving conditions, and then like living conditions, the prices, the housing, the right thing. So these are other considerations. And see the opportunities too, right? If you have children, where you can send the children in school, right? So in major cities you have a lot of options. So it's not that you won't find it in any cities like Ottawa, Toronto, in Edmonton or Calgary. You will find all the options. But what is your goal? Like Edmonton is called for city of festivals. There are a lot of festivals are happening. Toronto, they have a lot of options, opportunities. Some people also like community life. So they like to right have this meet with the community. So Toronto is in terms of the leading is one of those major cities in the world, right? So where people are actually coming. So it depends what is your option. So that's it. I actually, Mr. Borua, Saurabh Borua just joined. I would like to introduce Mr. Saurabh Borua because he is our collaborative partner. He joins the late due to technical issues, but I would like to thank him because he is actually he's also from Ottawa, Ontario, and his organization's name Global Scholarship, and he's representing Asia Pacific region. And he is actually we are this series particularly actually four organizations we are partnering, and this is from Prerona TV. It is a media partner, and then the key strategy partner is Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching. And but there are also other collaborative partner like UIREC and Global Scholarship. So this is how our series. And today we are very happy. We are having a 22nd episode of Education, Immigration, and Recruitment Speaker Series. One of the things that I would like to share with you, we have been able to reach globally with a number of other organizations. And why? There should be a reason why, because we are very passionate about disseminating knowledge, our expertise to our community member. It doesn't matter that you speak in the same language or not, but we believe in a cohesive and inclusive society here in Canada, because we are very, very proud to be in Canada, because Canada is a country where we live together peacefully. And I think Uzma would agree, and Shaurab also would agree the same, because we come from a different parts of the world originally, but we believe here in Canada we have a very good bonding and very um, Canadian society is very inclusive society. And with that, we are very passionate about sharing our knowledge, sharing our things. That's why Uzma is very, I would say, he's a leader. He's one of the idol for his community in Ottawa, and I have seen that he's been involved with other activity except the Curtin University. He is also a president of Canadian Pakistani, I think, Association of Commerce and Trade or something. I'm not so. This is actually she's the president of CPAC NCR. and there are many other association. Actually, she is sitting in a board. So there are other, there. I mean, there are many things to say about Uzma, but in summary, what I like to share is it is very important for us to at least we do something for the community. And this purpose of this session is to share our knowledge, our expertise to help our community. So today, what in summary, what I'm just sharing is the admissions to Canadian University applications process guideline. Now, I would like to give you a few minutes to before I going to Uzma again, because I still have some questions for Uzma. Before I going to Uzma, I would like to give you few minutes, 2 minutes to Mr. Borua. I know you are doing a lot of work. His organization is Global Scholarship. Introduce yourself and just tell maybe in very briefly what do you do for Global Scholarship. Thank you. You can unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Edward. Thank you. Thank you again. Uh, I must say, you're doing great job. I mean, regularly you are arranging this speaker series, and particularly we are talking about today. Our topics is admission in Canadian universities, application process and guidelines. And I must say, Uzma Khan is the right person to talk about this, because she is working every day. I mean, in Carleton University as a student counselor. Every day she is dealing with the relevant issues. So, and I heard, I mean, her analysis, and she briefly described that, I mean, Ontario University's perspectives and admission process and ranking and faculty. I mean, the way how she, I mean, analyze the student admission process and situation is very appreciable, and it's really, really helpful for our audience, those who are interested to, I mean, admission in any Canadian universities. She rightly mentioned that, I mean, maybe university is by namely is focus. Everybody knows that, Waterloo, Waterloo, Waterloo. But which subject is Waterloo is very much, I mean, popular or effective subject in Waterloo. Maybe McGill is another subject is very comparatively, I mean, better than, I mean, Waterloo, or even BC has another prioritized area or subject. I mean, that way you have to have, I mean, do more research or analysis to get admission, I mean, for your best, I mean, choosing the best educational career, or, I mean, subject or faculty. And Edward also, you gave, I mean, Alberta situation, or you analyze the I mean, Alberta's university and admission process. So both of you guys are, I mean, gave an tremendous, I mean, information to our audience. I think it's very helpful for our audience to choosing the, I mean, best subject or faculty or university. Actually, Edward already introduced me. This is Shaurabh. I'm representing the Global Scholarship. Actually, Global Scholarship, being an Canadian institution from capital city of Ottawa, we are always prioritizing the Canadian universities. I mean, bursaries, scholarships, and other tuition-free, I mean, admission process. All those information we are providing through our website and other channels. So, again and again, I am saying that, I mean, though we are global scholarship, we are providing the global information. I mean, global university, college admission, school admission, all those information we are providing to our audience, as well as, I mean, we are focusing on Canadian universities, school, college admission, and other relevant information we are trying
Thank
to
you, Shaurabh.
broadcast
Thank you,
to our
Shaurabh. Thank you,
audience.
Shorab.
Okay.
Uzma, I would like to share something with you and correct me because this will be a challenge for you. I will be summarizing all those points because I have some more points and see if you have more points or if you can add something. So I'm gonna share something. Those you see this consideration. How do you choose graduate school? So I'm going to share with you few points and check, right, be keep an eye and see, what you can add or if you have any insights of those things. So let me first thing is the admission rate, right? How the admission rate for that academic life. So when you are considering the universities, one of the things is like admission rate, how the admission is there, and then graduation rate, like whether this particular college or universities have a graduating. Like mostly it's happening in colleges, but in university, I think they're already in Canada. I don't think so. It should be an issue, but in some colleges, small colleges, they might have how much is the graduation rate. The other one is the freshman retention rate. In some colleges, this is a challenge. So when you are choosing an university or college, especially college, the freshman retention rate is also important. Now, another thing, very important thing is the student and faculty ratio. The how the student and faculty ratio is there. One of the things that I've seen that because I was also teaching university for 12 years, I was an instructor and I taught here. I taught I was in charge of one college and I taught in university. And before that, I taught 7 other university other than in Canada. So one other thing I have seen that choosing whether you are choosing a teaching university or research university. So it depends upon you, everything. And student faculty ratio is also important in teaching university. You will get more attentions in research university. You'll be more freedom, so they won't you won't get that that much attention, but you'll be involved in research. Now school size, how the school size is there. Now the graduate and professional school options, right? If you are looking for any professional designations or graduate, so right, these particular schools, like for example, I'm a CPA, member of the CPA, like I'm working on it. So the CPA, some school, like for example, they have the program where after doing this program, you can the professional associations, they are attached with the professional associations, and then you can get your designation. So because here in Canada, designation, professional designations is very important, and because this is a way tools for your success. The other one is whether you are getting jobs out of the school. I have seen students, they have spent like thousands of dollars. One of the student is was from Pakistan, and he was telling me I spent $50,000 for my school, but now I'm not finding a job. Then he has to do a second degree to to get it employed. So choosing that what the jobs right out of the school. Other thing is the curriculum, like whether this particular curriculum is good or not, and course availability. This particular course is available in this university or not. And the other thing Uzma has already mentioned is quality of professors. So whether this quality of professors is there, and then quality of department of study, that is also very. And then is there any teaching assistant? Like some of the university colleges, they have teaching assistant T opportunities. So if you're research opportunity, then you can get some funding, because sometimes when you're doing graduate school, funding is an issue, right? You spend a lot of money, but if you have a TA positions or research assistance positions, that is also another option. Then study abroad opportunity. What are the other opportunity that you might have? Accreditation is very important. Can most Canadian universities, they have this accredited universities, right? So there is no issues, but you have to be very careful whether this particular college or university is accredited. If it is a private college, then you have to check it out. And as you know, right, those who are coming from abroad is a DLI, designated learning institute, if the college is there or not. Now course of study, as Buzma has already mentioned, course of study. On campus living, we discussed something about the accommodation thing. So how the living, whether this accommodation is on campus or off campus, or how the cost is involved. And now the other thing is the location, right? Whether it is the where it is located. Some university in states we see like they are not like in the city, or they're maybe in urban, or like somewhere like quite far from the city. So you have to just see that the location and the size of the campus. Sometimes whether you have all the facility. I mean, like are there in and the meal plans, whether you have right, food and other options are there. There are some extracurricular activities. I know um, uh, some school and university, they have very good extracurricular activities, gym or like sports, like the the other opportunities, sports participation, safety statistics, like whether how much crime, right there, right? Is there, what is the safety statistics are there? Party life, some people or party or anything, alumni network is there also. Demographics is also important, that how much the gender, race, religion, like some people prefer, okay, I want to go somewhere whether my special ethnicities or groups are there represented in the community, in the university. Transportation is also important, right? Whether I'll find bookstores, apartments, or shopping close or nearby parking. Now, spirituality is also so important for some. There are some religion-based colleges or university, or like a faith-based college university. So, spirituality is also important. Major factors, financial factor is cost, financial aid, qualification, whether there is financial aid, working opportunity for the students, and the application fees, right? How do you do? And the graduation class, right? When you are graduating, right? Right, what will be your right, how you are accepted in that particular community. So this is just, I'm summarizing like from my experience, or also right, reviewing with other things. So Uzma, you are now my watch in that thing. Is there anything I missed, or is there anything you like to add?
No, I think your list is very, very comprehensive, and it was very important, especially the money factor that you talked about, the facilities that you talked about, and the graduation, and how is the employment rate after the graduation. These things are very, very important when you are planning to enroll in a university abroad. So you cannot ignore these factors. Only one thing that I want to elaborate a little bit more. You brought a very good point: the teaching assistant and the research assistant. Okay, research assistant, the grant come from the professor. So when as I mentioned, when you're contacting the professor, you can ask professor if they have any grants available to help the students. So some is professors, like they get a very big grants and all that, and they have to pay to the student, and the student help in the research to the professor, and the professor offer. So that is come under the research assistant, and the short form is RAship. So ask about the RAship. And the teaching assistant is coming from the university. So you teach, you give a tutorial, like for every courses, university courses are offered where the classes are big. Usually, you do the tutorial for the undergraduate courses. If you're a graduate student, you do for the undergraduate courses in your department or in any other department that is rated. You can make your TA profile where you want to, where you would like to apply. And yeah, and if you don't qualify for the TA also, then we have OPTA. TAs are like they have the first, like TA offer goes with their admission offer, right? And even if you don't have a TA offer, once you are in the program, you can look for the OPTA, outside priority TA opportunities, and you can apply for those as well. So this is another option. And once you are in the university, and you can explore before also, once you're in the program, then you have a scholarship based on that program, like it's called the endowment or donor awards. Like in Canada, there are a lot of people, rich and wealthy people or organizations, they offer the scholarship for the brightest students. Sometimes, and there's a criteria for each of these awards. Sometimes the organization offer the scholarships, and sometimes there's some, businesses offer the scholarship. So there is a criteria for every, donor award. These are called the donor awards. And there are some on the financial needs as well, where you don't have to be the brightest student, but if you are an international student and you are in the financial need, you can simply apply for that award. Then beside that, we have a government scholarship. So once you are in the program, you are a regular and a full-time registered student. We have answer, we have shirk, and we have CHIR, program. And then universities also offer, once you're at A, they offer you bursaries, travel bursary if you want to present your work in a conference and all that. So university pay for that. Of course, there's a limits on that, but it depends, where are you going. So these things are there. So research for these things as well, like which university is offering more grants and all that. And yeah, all these things are very important. And so if one thing you take from today's session is the research, 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 you know it is very, very important. Over to you, Edward.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. It's actually a really informative session today. Actually, I don't want to overwhelm the audience with more time because we already crossed the time. So thank you so much. With that, we'll be coming with new session or new important session. We want to provide informations with relevant and very focused information so that our audience can be benefited. We don't want them to overwhelm with many informations. But
Welcome.
today's session was very informative and very good. I think I would encourage those who are aspiring student or prospective students. Then you are highly encouraged to do a proper research and ask for a help and assistance before even and build your network through LinkedIn professional network, right? So and then do some networking. There are a lot of online networking, volunteer work, volunteerism. There's a lot of opportunities are there, and being for the social cause, there are a lot of social cause there. Be involved, right? Because why you are here, why you are doing educations, what is the purpose? It has to be good for the society, it good for the mankind, be a the humanity, right? Building our society. So right, you have to have that holistic approach of educations. Other than that, we are not building, we are not growing. So this is very important for building a holistic a society or an education, right? They have to holistic approach in educations. So thank you very much. I would like to my deep appreciation to Uzma Khan. She is a graduate education specialist, Carleton University from Ottawa, Ontario, and she is also the president of CPACT NCR from Ottawa, Ontario. Thank you very much for your for sharing with us all these important things that's very relevant for a graduate student. And also thank you, Mr. Borua, Sharab Borua, for your time. And later we'll be hearing more about your scholarship in one of the other session about scholarship opportunities. But now we are very happy that today we finished, or we actually completed Education, Immigration, and Recruitment Speaker Series episode, episode 22nd.
Okay.
Uh, I'll give you on one announcement. I think we are working on it and we'll find it an relevant information. We are having a kind of a virtual international conference type of seminar in couple of these sessions. So we're working on it. So you'll find the global resources even all over in Canada and all of the groups about immigrations, educations, and recruitment. So we're working on it. Keep an eye. Will be very soon, not very far, in couple of months. We'll be having a lot of sessions, and you can attend those sessions. There'll be a recording session. Those who attended those sessions, so we are very excited. We are getting a lot of support. Hopefully, those information sessions will be very useful for all of you. There'll be a lot of recruiters coming in our sessions. A lot of immigration lawyer, not the consultant only, lawyer also coming, and also we are also a lot of education professionals like from the secondary, from the school, and from from colleges and also university, and from different other provinces. We want to make sure in our sessions all the provinces, most provinces are represented, right? So we are very excited. We are working on it, and keep an eye. We are very passionate, as I said, we are very passionate about education, immigration, and recruitment series here in Canada. So thank you very much those who join with us. And as you know, our session runs every Tuesday, which is actually Mountain Standard Time. We run from Edmonton, Alberta at 8 p.m. And in Ottawa, Ontario is 10 p.m. Ottawa or Toronto, the Eastern Standard Time is 10 p.m. And in Dhaka, Bangladesh, it is actually 8 a.m. in the morning on
Point.
Wednesday. And in India, it is 7:30 7:30 on Wednesday morning. And Pakistan, I guess, is the same
It's the
time,
same.
right? India, yeah. So because most of our audience, because this is a multilingual channel, Prerona TV, we have a lot of audience even from Pakistan because today we have participants who is actually from Pakistan, who is actually interacting with us. So we have a participants from India, participants from Pakistan, and also from Bangladesh, of course, and also we have international participants too. So thank you very much, those who joined with us, and we wish you all the best and watch our next session, which is coming next week. And thank you very much. Take care. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you.